That's what I'm putting down. If you can join, you can join. Da 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 da. Who notices? This is an impromptu stream, okay? It's impromptu. I really wish the vertical was, you could adjust it for YouTube. It seems like you gotta be in the center of the screen. Let me see here. Let's see how that translates. Wow. How far back is this stream, bro? What the hell? Pretty far back. I should get adjusted because some of my stuff is not in the middle of this. Like for the auto to work, right? For the auto vertical, that is. No, I don't want full screen. I mean, it is. It doesn't look the best. I should get. It should be integrated. I'm not sure. Well, holla at your boy. If you guys are out there, I have some things that I want to dis discuss this because I have some plans for how I'm going to do this going forward, according to reactions and bringing movies and stuff to the channel, over on Patreon especially. And I'm trying to figure out how do I want to do this. I'm not. Why am I able? Well, you guys don't need to hear the music, but let me see if I can find some relax. If you are out there, please say something in the chat. I'm sure you guys know how to type in the chat. It's not that difficult, right? Um. Okay. Pretty sure my audio is good. Oh, you were just watching episode 3? Yeah. The Untamed is going strong. I'm loving it so far. Um, Still a lot to find out about this series, to be honest. I've I've been going back, making sure that I'm keeping a lot of the stuff that happened in the first like 3 episodes fresh in the mind. You know, I mean, if you guys are watching the free reactions, well, the full reactions on Patreon, not an issue. You guys should not have an issue at all, right? Yeah, shouldn't be having any issues at all. I don't want to, like, I'm 12 episodes in now, right? And I've been going back to see, especially in the first, first couple of episodes. I don't know how long this is it. I mean, it is a flashback, right? I don't know when that's going to end. I mean, it could be 20 episodes, it could be whatever. Um, but my intrigue for this story is kind of laid out a certain way, right? It's kind of laid out a certain way when it comes on to where my interest is, right? Where my interest is. And I think the dynamic between the characters is the most interesting thing to me. And also there are some underlying themes that I'm noticing that they're kind of trying to um, express, you know, with everybody. And I think that works, right? I think it's working because it's keeping my interest in the show um, in general. So also when it comes on to the characterization of it, of learning about these characters and what they represent, I think the most confusing thing to me, and the reason why I'm going back and watching earlier episodes as well, is to understand the clans. Because I think, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, a lot of comments, both on YouTube, both on, not both on YouTube and Patreon, people are explaining to me how the clans work, what they represent, the different characters that come from these clans, and pretty much how they were raised and how I should my viewpoint on it. Like somebody provided a very interesting viewpoint on the last episode 2, right, where they were explaining how I should view the clans. And I think it's very interesting, you know, how they express that. Oh, let me see if I can find the comment really quick here. It's a very interesting comment. It says it's from Moss F160. He says in this show, um, the clans, they're kind of like countries, or at least medieval people and lords, which it kind of like put a lot a perspective on how I could view it, right? So there's larger ones with more power and lesser ones who has fewer people within. So most interactions between the clans in this show can be equivalent to inter-country politics. And for obvious reasons, one would need to show respect to the sex rule or the clan's rules when standing on their territories, or at least under their roof, right? That's the other reason. One of the last episodes, talking about episode 2, when Master Lan, as I call him, give out the mute spell to Jinling, Chen Chan swallowed his anger back because they're both royalty and representation of their clans. So I kind of understood that initially, like the dynamics between the clan. I realized very early on that there was a hierarchy, right, between the clans, right? But some other comment also came in, and They were also saying that you know, in respect, because I had questions about, I believe it was the Jin clan, right? They are very interesting because they're the rich people. They're the Lannisters, right? They're the Lannisters of the show. They got the gold, they got the money, right? But they're not necessarily the top clan. They just, because I was saying, why is he acting like this towards you know Way's elder sister? I think her name is, what's her name? I'm trying to remember the names, right? I can't remember her name right now. Well, you guys know who I'm talking about. The elder sister, like they're betrothed to be married to each other, right? And he's looking down on her seemingly, but it seems like he has some affection towards her. So it's just kind of weird, right? So somebody kind of like ask the question, right? I think I'm getting out of frame here because my I had done I let me hold on. Let me Yanli, yes, that's her name. I yeah, it was eluding me, right? And we do the thing about it is like when characters when you don't see him when at least when I don't see characters very often in a show, I tend to not remember their name. Um, like I like you know what I'm saying the characters that we're following in the show like they're in every episode like those names I'm going to remember very quickly but um I mean it's not like she's appeared in I want to say out of the 12 episodes that I've watched so far she's appeared in probably 6 of them so it's not really an excuse for me she's appeared in enough for me to remember her but I still she doesn't really say much too right so yeah I mean to be honest I'm not even remembering the first names of anybody in the Wen clan really I just kind of refer to them as whatever right so like my brain is not actively in remembrance mode right now. Yeah, she's called senior. You're right. She is called senior sister most of the time too. So it's kind of like is um. I don't think I've ever heard anybody call her by that name. Like somebody calling her that. Like Yan Li. I don't think anybody has called her that in the show. Was just maybe, but not translated at least for me, other than maybe the first time she was introduced in the show. So is whatever. The names are not super important. Because I mean, that guy that's like, first of all, the guy that's I'll ask you a question. The guy that what's his name? I don't remember his name, but I want to know his name. The guy that is like I always make fun of him because they call him the weirdest thing ever. He's supposed to be is he Master Land's brother, uncle, just acquaintance? Because I mean they're part of the same clan, but I don't know their like actual relationship. Like I don't know what they introduced him as. The guy that just took over. Um, no. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The guy who's like he seems like he's the second in command to to the master of the Land clan. Like the head honcho. They call him like beautiful sunrise blossom. I always make fun of his name because not the one with the mustache. The one that has the flute. The one that has the flute in the backstory we're watching right now. The one that has the flute with the powers. He's a clan leader now. He wasn't the clan leader. Like he's the clan leader. Well, no, not. He is his brother. So he's Wanji's brother. Okay, so that's what I wanted to know because I wasn't sure about their relationships. Like, every time I'm talking about them, I'm thinking that they're probably not brothers. Um, but thanks for clarifying that. So okay, if he's his brother, then um, yeah. Um, so in general, when it comes on to like finding out about these clans and how to the hierarchy and stuff like that, and also looking at it from the standpoint of okay, these people are these people, you know, and associating certain things about them so that I can remember, oh, you're from this clan. Okay. So somebody also explained to me that the Nia clan, right, which is where that kid is from, the one. Huh? And the thing about it is like they're like their clan is considered to be the one with the best martial arts, right? It's just that the Wen clan themselves, like, they just have numbers, and that's why the rest of the people kind of fear them a bit, is because they got numbers, and because I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with the leader of the Wen clan, right? Because we know that they get essentially, it seems like they got wiped out. I don't know if the entire clan got wiped out, like everybody died that was associated with them. But we know that in present day from the first couple of episodes, right? That it doesn't seem like they're around, right? Um, or they could be, and they just not. They just haven't shown them yet, right? Yeah, the Nia clan, they're the ones with they're the butchers, as you say. So they're like they got the best martial arts, but they're not a big. I mean, we just saw what you know. You saw what happened. But they didn't. One thing I know that I was making fun. I, wa- I was making fun of the the jeez. I was making fun of um the Land Clan, out there in the cloud recesses. I was like, man, y'all should have spent some more time, fighting or learning to fight, bro. I mean, numbers or not, you know, numbers or not, they did not put up a good fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, numbers or not, they did not put up a good fight. It seems like the only people it seems like, I mean, the leader at that time, it seems like he was pretty good. He was just overwhelming. It was more protective. He was more protective you know, of the students and the younger guys. Even though one of them kind of he couldn't die with honor. He could not die with honor. He had to rat it out. And I don't know if that guy. I'm gonna fix my camera. Hold on, cause I am. We gotta ignite. Okay, that's. Hold on, I'm gonna make my camera bigger because it's kind of small. Oh, chat. If if that chat start going crazy, I'll make it. I'll bring it back. But man, it's crazy sometimes. If like when I watched it, what the hell is going on, bro? No. Okay, that's better for now. More centered. Um, I'll just remove my logo here for now. All right. So it's just interesting cause interesting to watch the show because, of course, now that the reactions are on YouTube or they're coming out on YouTube, right? It's interesting to see the comments because the first thing and I did that on purpose. Okay, I did that on purpose. It wasn't like an offhanded thing. I did that specifically on episode one, so who can't bear to hear me speak about certain things, or I made sure I put it first so we can get all the people who don't have who don't think for themselves, don't come watch my reactions. Okay? Because I really, but even though I know I did that as a deterrent, there's still people in the comment section talking about what I talked about. And even though I made the decision to watch the show, right? Even though I made the decision to watch the show, people are still going to say all these different things about me, and it's whatever, right? People has said I'm in the closet. I don't like gay people, so I'm not interested in watching a show about gay people, right? And all of a sudden I'm gay. That makes me gay, bro. That makes me gay. I said what I said. You know, you know what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. Like, um, I cheer for what I know and what I can't. When it comes on to romantic stuff, if that's gonna be in the show, it's got to be something I'm interested in. It's got to be something that I'm interested in and I want to watch, right? If that's what the show is going to be about, right? If I'm going to watch something, like, I'm interested in the ladies, not the men. Okay? I love to see a man and a woman falling in love. I'm not interested in seeing two men falling in love. And I specifically said that. I don't understand what's so wrong with me as a straight man not wanting to watch something that is gay. But, you're gonna get caught. Like, I've been doing this for 8 years now. Like, I understand the game, and that's why I stand 10 toes down on those things when I say them, because I want people to understand that, listen, not because I'm doing reaction, that doesn't mean I don't have any type of moral compass when it comes on to what I place in front of my eyes, right? If I say I don't want to watch something, I'm not interested in that. I mean, just the other day, like, I just saw a comment of somebody, I think on the first episode of The Untamed, suggested that I watch this show. I think it's called Revenge Love, right? Now, I added it to the list. That was my response. I added to the list. And then I think it's like a few hours later or the next day, I can't remember exactly. Somebody else responded to the comment and was like, "Did you not hear him say he doesn't want to watch any gay stuff? This show is straight up gay." So I'm glad that people are out there understanding, because I said I did it deliberately for that, for people to understand. You saw it, yeah. So it's like, come on, man. Like, it's like you, and that's why I said people, like, just like how people don't understand. Like, there's still people that I have that comes in. Like, I just had another comment like yesterday, and this happens all the time, and I don't mind responding and answering them, but it's kind of like tells me that people don't actually watch the videos a lot of times, because it's just like they just fast forward to what they want to watch, right? And they don't actually pay attention to what I say, or like they just hear for the reaction. Like, people are still commenting and saying, like, as I said, this comment said that, can you provide some more of the show, please, and not just, some more of the reaction? And I'm like, I have to respond and be like, hey, man, the full reaction you can watch for absolutely free is linked in the description of the video. Why are you writing this comment? Because you did not watch the video. Because if you had watched the video, you would have seen, because there's like 3 instances of me saying this in most videos. 2 to 3 times I say this, or there's a flashcard that tells you that this happening. I put it before the snippet and after the snippet, right? Before the snippet and after the snippet, I put a thing that says, "Hey, the free full reaction is in the description." So even if you watch the snippet on YouTube and you're confused, why is the reaction so short, right? Because as I said, I am done playing YouTube game, okay? And that's the reason why I made this decision. I'm done playing their games. They change the algorithm so much, and they can just decide what's important and what's not important. You don't have, you're not free to create anymore. You have to go do whatever YouTube is actually promoting or what they believe is relevant. So I'm done playing their game. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna spend all this time anymore. Other than the fact that I was getting really, fatigued by the idea of um, editing, right? That was, you know, uh, partially the reason why I decided to, um, just start, just providing the full. I mean, I've been providing full reactions, but just, just doing the snippet. I'm just like, listen, if I edit the videos, it doesn't make a difference when it comes on to views or anything. It does not make any difference at all. Like I was doing that full editing style. I was doing that for a couple of years. I think about probably 2 to 3 years. I was doing that when I finally figured out how to get the videos to actually stay on YouTube and be monetized, right? Instead of them getting blocked or claimed, and you know, um, figured it out. And then I was like, okay, whenever I start a new show, it doesn't matter what kind of show it is, whether it's anime, TV shows, or whatever, I'm still kind of stuck in this. I don't know if I want to call it view jail, but I'm just kind of stuck in this weird position where my videos just not getting any views. So I was just like, you know what? I'm already providing full reactions anyways, right? Why am I going through, you know, 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes even 3 hours, depending on the length of the reaction, right? To edit these videos when I could just put out more content and you guys just go watch the full reactions for free, anyways. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what they call it, shadow ban. A lot of people don't know that I had another channel that was, that's still kind of like with. I have a channel, the one that I started on, which has 7,000 plus subscribers. I can't put anything on that channel because I do believe that that channel got shadow banned. I spoke to YouTube about it, but you're gonna get you know, the um, the weird answer. Like when I was going through that, I was so frustrated, dude, because we had momentum. Like I'm talking about a lot of my older reactions, like to popular shows and stuff like that, is on that channel, and it just got shadow banned. I'm talking about that's the channel when I started. I did Game of Thrones, all these different the popular shows, Vikings. Like I have those reactions. Some of the reactions I did lose because I almost lost the channel, right? I almost lost the channel, and because of copyright stuff, because I was new to YouTube, I didn't understand certain things, and I almost lost the channel. And that was when I think I was around that time. I was like, I think I was around like 3,000 subscribers on that channel. The time when I almost lost it, so I had to delete all the Game of Thrones reactions because you know HBO, they came after my channel. Um, and I didn't argue. I was frustrated by it, but I didn't argue because I knew I was in the wrong, right? I'm talking about the way how I was uploading reactions at the time was pretty much uh, I would you had a 1 hour episode of Game of Thrones, right? And I would split the reaction into four parts and upload it. And I'm not talking about with a filter. I'm talking about no filter whatsoever. Like I just uploaded it. The videos would get claimed, but I didn't care because I was just like, okay, videos are doing well, people are discovering the channel. I didn't care. Back then, YouTube wasn't so strict about blocking videos, right? Unless it's just blatantly. I'm not saying that I uploaded the entire episode because I did cut out some stuff, right? But it was just blatantly out there, no filter on YouTube. And as I said, I got 2 copyright strikes in a row um, for that show and Rome that I was watching at the time. Yeah, super risky. But as I said, I was a youngin. I didn't know the YouTube game like that, and then I started to learn. So after that, what I started to do with pretty much all of my reactions, right? So I learned from that, and then I started to just upload just the intro to the videos, and then the the review, kind of like what I do now, without the snippet. So it was just intro, and then cut to review, and then the full reaction would be as a link in the description, right? So I've been providing full reactions from pretty much probably like 3 4 months in doing YouTube's, and I never stopped. From then I was like, I never want to take it away because I think that's one of the things that differentiate me from a lot of the reactors out there, right? I don't think any other reactors out there is actually providing, based on an episode basis of what drops on YouTube, are providing full reactions so you can just go watch it, whether elsewhere, right? And of course, later on YouTube, I don't know if that's the reason why they shadow banned my channel, because people would come, they would not even really watch the video. They just come, boom, go to the description, and leave the website. And YouTube doesn't like that. So I don't know if that's the reason why they shadow banned it. I don't know if that's the reason why my view counts are so low over here. I don't know. I don't know. And quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't care. I don't care. As long as you guys get the experience that you need to get, whether they want to push my video out to 1 million people or 10, I don't care, right? Because at the end of the day, I think, as a matter of fact, I am actively right now trying to grow a community over on Patreon, because I'm like, you know what? If you guys want to come over here and just join for free, join the community and enjoy the episodes, that's fine. And to be honest, you know what I'm saying? F YouTube at this point, because they change things up way too much, and then they expect people to just adjust. Now I can't even see people's long form videos on my channel anymore. Like the people that I'm subscribed to. Like I can't see I can't see their stuff, right? I can't see their stuff because my channel is bombarded with shorts, right? I just shorts. Like that's the thing now, right? And the thing about it is this, right? I'm going to dive into shorts, but if I dive into shorts, that simply means that the stuff that I'm doing right now is going to be um is going to suffer for it, because YouTube doesn't necessarily, they don't support both. They realize that short form content is what is doing the thing right now, right? That's why you will see a lot of creators transition into that currently, because they're not really. I mean, there's very few people that are making money with long form content right now. A lot of reactors, their view counts have dropped for certain things, because guess what? The thing about it is this too, that a lot of reactors don't realize is that you're gonna watch pretty much everything that's super popular, right? You're gonna watch those things because that's what most people are going to suggest, right? And as I've told you guys before, I've watched all those popular shows that you might think of right now that are super popular, like even today. I'm not talking about like older shows that was like popular back in the day, like early 2000. I'm talking about shows that like 2010 shows, The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Vikings, the stuff that was crack a lacking, for lack of a better word, right? In the 2010s, people are always going to suggest those shows very early on. Stuff like Lost. I've done all of those. Prison Break. I've done those shows, right? So you're going to not necessarily run out of content, but you got to figure out where the next thing is that's going to bring a lot of views. I know I'm already in kind of like a view jail, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to pivot to something else, right? I'm gonna pivot to something else or somewhere else, if you will, because YouTube is just, I don't think, um, the numbers that I see a lot of like reactors do, because I do pay attention to the competition, if you will, right? And I see them, and I'm just like, yeah, you used to pull 100,000 views on this show or this episode, but then you're averaging now 10K. Like, that's a huge drop off, right? YouTube also does subscriber purges, right? So people who probably haven't watched a video from you, you know, for years or whatever, they might unsubscribe those people from your channel. So you lose a certain amount of subscribers. I don't know if it's every 6 months or every year they do that, but they do it, right? They do it. Um, and I think a lot of people have a problem with chasing relevancy. I'm one, you know what I'm saying? Like, people will do that. They'll chase relevancy. So they'll, because YouTube is their career, right? So they'll chase the relevant shows, right? And I think in a lot of ways, YouTubers, they kind of lose their authenticity when they do that, because now they're chasing the, what's happening, right? Like how people will, you know, some people come to my channel, somebody left a comment and saying that, man, out of everything you chose Chinese dramas. It's like, yeah, because I'm not chasing relevancy, right? I think when you do that, you end up watching dumb stuff and reacting to dumb things because you're just doing it just because of relevancy. This is, in my opinion, I think C drama reactions is an untapped market for reactors. K drama is doing their stuff, but I believe, because I know since I watched Nirvana and Fire, I know that the market is out there, right? I know the market is out there. I also know that it's not a massive market here in the West. I also know that. I know out in the East, it's massive. It's a massive audience in the East, right? That's why my videos, when people take my reactions and they put them on Bilibili, massive audience, right? I get views I would love to see on YouTube, on Bilibili, right? This is how it is, right? It's true. They go with the trend, and they can find themselves in a box. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I want to branch out. I want to experience other people's culture. What they enjoy. What are their shows like? And I'm just going through the motions when it comes on to that right now, of seeing where this can go. I've never gotten this much support on Patreon ever. and I've had my Patreon for forever, and I've told you guys this story before of um how I started the Patreon and stuff like that. That I didn't even want to do it because the thing about it is like I'm always looking out because I was doing full reactions. I was providing full reactions, and I never had a Patreon. And literally, right, because I didn't want to put out videos, or put out all the episodes of a video because I would watch. You know what I'm saying? I remember like back then when I wasn't watching multiple shows at once. I would watch like one show at a time. But the way how I'm gonna tell you how crazy it got, right? When I was watching The Sopranos, right? The Sopranos have the Sopranos have 13, I believe 13 episodes per season. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember exactly, but it was somewhere in the teens. I think it was 13 episodes per season, right? And I'm telling you, I was watching a season every weekend. Every weekend over 2 days. I would watch like 6 episodes one day and then 7 episodes the next day, right? And I would edit all of those episodes to release during the week, Monday through Friday, right? I would edit those. That's how crazy I was going with no Patreon. I think at the time I was doing Sopranos, I did have Patreon, but it would YouTube was probably like, I don't know, maybe about 2 episodes behind. Sometimes I wasn't even offered. It was just people that convinced me to do the Patreon because it was like you have all these episodes just laying there, just offer early access, and then I started doing that, right? So that was some crazy work. That was some crazy work because I tell people I love to do this shit. I love it just because I love it, right? But I'm also not gonna sit here and be like, well, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make money off of it or anything like that. I've been very explicit about YouTube, right? About doing this. I do want to make money off of it. I didn't want to use Patreon to do that, right? I wanted to make the money on the YouTube end because that's ad revenue. I never wanted to um per se tell people to come over because the reason why I was so like against doing it before, on as I said, until some of the subscribers convinced me to do it. The reason why I was so against this is because I've been a victim. I hate to say it like that, but I was a victim of somebody else's Patreon because I support creators, right? I remember this one guy that was doing reacting to music. A lot of you guys don't know that I started out, right. My first reactions on the old channel, it was music, right? And I subscribed to this other guy that was doing reactions to music, and he had a Patreon. And there was this song I wanted him to review because I'm Jamaican. This Jamaican music don't get a lot of love in the reaction, um, space when it comes on to music, right? Jamaican music don't get a lot of love, right? So went to this guy's Patreon. If you want specific requests for anything, right? $50. Okay, 50. I'm not talking about a one-time sale, right? It's $50 a month. Some of these Patreons can get really egregious. I paid it because guess what? I can afford it. Not that big a deal. Really wanted to see what his reaction was to this artist because it's one of my favorite Jamaican artists, right? Um, Dude, let's just say a whole month passed by after I paid my $50. and nothing happened. Didn't get the reaction or anything. Meanwhile, private messaging this guy, right? He responded, is like, "Oh, I'm gonna get to it eventually." And I'm just like, bro, you can't have people. As a matter of fact, if you're gonna have a tier that high, it's gotta be super priority. I'm talking about, it's gotta be like, it can't be a long list. You have to also, because Patreon, you can limit the amount of people that can subscribe to a specific tier, right? You can limit the amount of people. So if you know that this can get overwhelming of people making special requests, limit it. Limit it. Say only 10 people, right, at a time can be subscribed at this tier, right? Do something, but don't tell me you're getting to it and then the next month come around, now I'm paying you another $50. So I unsubscribed because I was just like, whatever, I lost the money, it's still a scam. I don't want to say it's a scam, I don't want to say it's fraudulent. I just think he overbooked. Because there's probably plenty of people with special requests, right, that comes to him, and he has to do the other regular reactions as well, and he couldn't get to it in time. So I just chalked it up as that. But I'm saying, when something like that happens to you, when I see stuff like that, if I start a Patreon now, I'm looking at the viewpoint from the people who are paying, because I was in that bind, if you will, at one point, right? So I'm looking at it from point of view, and that's the reason why I actively try to not make the Patreon like super expensive and stuff like that, because most people in the reaction space are not doing $5 tiers, right? There are some, but you don't get that much benefit. You like, let's keep it within just reactions to TV shows, anime, whatever. If you go out there, because as I said, I keep an eye on the competition and what they do, right? Majority of the people that I watch their reactions, for anime that I've watched in the past or whatever, and I support them, right? They're $5 tier like mine, right? Where you can just watch everything, get early access to the advanced episodes, whatever. Do you know what they're giving for $5? Participation in polls, right? And I believe you can talk in their chat or whatever, and you get the YouTube edited version of the reactions. That's what you get for $5. The majority of them, right? That's what you get. Okay, that's it. That's it. Pretty much. Whichever way they want to word it on the Patreon is the same thing. That's what they do, right? Most times, for what I provide at $5, is the least is $10 for them. $10 for that tier for what I'm providing for $5. And I don't even have a $10 tier, right? I'm still trying to figure out really and truly what I want to do for that second tier. One at, I think, is $7, right? I'm still here trying to figure out how do I want to do it, because I said, okay, people want to suggest things, right? But I said, okay, if they want to get onto Superstar and suggest a show, the people that are subscribed to Superstar right now, they're not suggesting anything. They're there literally just to support. None of them has really suggested any shows, and if they have suggested a show, right? It's on the list. But the thing about this is this: when you have a few people, right, it's easy to get to a lot of stuff that shows up in the polls after I finish watching shows. A lot of it is from the Superstar tier, right? So some people might be wondering, man, I wrote in a comment a suggestion. Yeah, it goes under regular list, right? But if you're a Superstar, your suggestion goes to not necessarily to the top of the list, but you go with the top ones that are with Superstar, right? So what I've been doing recently is when I put things on polls, right? I'll put 3 shows, you know, a couple of them from the Superstar tier, and then one that's been around for a long time and never got reacted to, right? So, what happens is that if I feel like it, if I have time, I'll still do the third one on the poll if it doesn't win, right? That's what I've been doing recently because I'm just like shows that I'm watching, right, like Battlestar Galactica, that didn't win the poll. I just made up my mind to watch it because people have been suggesting for me to watch this show from like, I don't know, 2020. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while. So I was just like, you know what? This is going to be the next American show no matter what. So the reason why I'm watching that right now. That's why I'm here. I'm like, I have some plans of what I want to do, right? And I really wanted some more people to come through so we can discuss. So if you're out there, because I can see that there's more people here, please say something in the chat because I do want to. I don't know if anybody's on, because I am on. I'm on YouTube too. All right, so sorry I missed your message there. I can miss you guys out there on YouTube. Um, I'm not paying attention to the YouTube chat, but I do see you guys' comments now. Let me pop this chat out real quick. Right, so I don't understand because it should be those YouTube. The YouTube chat is supposed to come up on the feed on OBS. I don't know why it's not doing that. Yeah, so let me answer these questions here over on YouTube. Sorry, I was in the moment there. Hey, Edison, appreciate the love, bro. I was so happy when you watch One Outs for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like One Outs was one of those shows that was like, it was suggested at at Superstar, so I just watched it. So it's just like some of the times when it comes on to that, it's just based on decision making, based on where we are. So that's cool. My Breaking Bad reactions, I never watched Breaking Bad, Edison. Sorry. Um, I've watched the show. I just don't have reactions to it. Let me clarify. I don't have reactions to Breaking Bad. I've watched Breaking Bad, but I don't have reactions to it. Unless you like, I did put out a list and I let people know what I have reactions to, a list of shows that I've watched, um, and I highlight what I have reactions to and what I don't. Okay, so yeah, so Breaking Bad was one of those shows that I watched way before I started doing reactions. So, and as I said, I lost pretty much all of my Game of Thrones reactions. And a matter of fact, I might go back and rewatch Game of Thrones. It's probably not gonna be the greatest experience knowing that I've seen the show already, and I would say I would remember all the plot points, so nothing is probably going to be surprising to me. I also refer to um Game of Thrones season 8 a lot in a lot of my reactions because of how bad the ending was. Ooh, Jesus, that ending was bad, right? So yeah, that's what that is. Um, so yeah, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Um, you just finished the Soprano reactions. I am going to be actively uploading a lot of my reactions to Patreon, not just through the Google Drive, but just you know because as I said that Patreon now allows you to upload videos directly to the site. You get 100 hours every month. It resets every month, so I'm gonna take my little time and upload some of this stuff on the Patreon so people can come over there, watch this stuff for free, and you know, um, and also, you know, update the links on the videos on YouTube, because I do know that The Sopranos is over there. I don't think any of them got claimed or blocked. I haven't checked recently. I could check now to see if any of them got blocked, or because this stuff happens, man. Yeah, I can see a lot of them are on limited. Damn. Yeah, a lot of stuff they're not. They add. Okay, one of them got demonetized. Yeah. So I'm gonna. Yeah, none of them. None of them seem to be. Well, one is partially blocked. So yeah, yeah. Got to figure that out. So I'm gonna be uploading a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna try to make Patreon the hub of sorts, because I can't keep up with YouTube, man. YouTube, there's some guy in the background just turning the knob of what's supposed to be important and what's not. And I'm just not in the mood to play those games, because I'm not going to start doing something else on the channel just because you feel like, okay, this is not what people are watching right now. Like, yeah, but your duty as a search engine is to push the content to the people, because you guys have all this sophisticated technology. You have AI now, right? The duty of it is supposed to push the videos out to the people or who have interest or are searching for this stuff. Your duty is not to tell me, hey, make short form content now because everybody else is doing it, right? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if I'm gonna do reactions to Game of Thrones, push it out to the people who are typing in Game of Thrones reactions on Google or YouTube. That's your duty. That's it. Let them choose. You don't choose what's relevant. You get what I'm saying? Let the consumers choose what they want to watch, who they want to watch, right? But apparently it can't be as simple as that. It's according to what Mr. Beast is doing. Okay? That's whatever Mr. Beast is doing, that's what everybody needs to do to actually get traction. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm not into that. I don't want to do that. So I'll say, okay, um just in the past, since the Untamed has premiered on YouTube, I think like about, I want to say around 20 to 30 people has joined the Patreon for free, or even coming from Vendetta of Anne as well. And so I'm good with that. Right, look at the Untamed. The first episode is at over 1,000 views. I can't tell the last time I saw 1,000 views on my channel. Right, so I'm just like, just push. If you're watching something, and this is what I realized, if you're watching something that people are interested in, you'll get views, right? If you're watching something that, because as I said, C drama is not super popular in the West, but there are certain shows that are super popular as C dramas. Legend of Shanghai doing very well, right? On YouTube alone, right? Plenty of people was watching Legend of Shanghai over on the Patreon as well, right? So it is to the point, right? Um, yeah, you definitely gotta be fake. As I agree with that, and this is no knock on reactors out there or whatever they do. I do find a lot of them to be fake, because there's no way you're gonna really sit and tell me that's how you are in real life. And some of them do admit that they do it for the entertainment purpose and to stay relevant. or for people that like some of these guys. I'm not talking about like the Gen Z kids, because a lot of the Gen Z kids that are coming in now, early 20s, just come out of high school, start a reaction channel, and they blow up. I'm just like, how the hell do you keep all that energy up? You know what I'm saying? I know you're not like that in real life. I know you. Like I'm seeing the reaction, and I'm just like, and those people don't keep somebody like me around. I can't come back and watch your reaction because I'm looking, and I'm just like, I know that ain't the real you, bro. You're doing that for the camera, for the views, because everybody seem to have brain rot these days. Their attention span is crazy short, right? You know, like a fly. So you gotta try to do it as quick as possible. You gotta try to keep the person that's watching entertained. And the thing about it is that I have made up my mind to never become somebody like that, because I'm just like, yeah, I watch a show, I may make fun, I might make a joke or two or whatever, but that's my personality, right? That's my personality. That's how I am outside of you. I may not talk as much outside of YouTube, but that's pretty much the only thing that's a little different. But because I know that's necessary, so I do it because it's necessary, right? Because I can't just sit there, watch the show, and not have an opinion, because you get in trouble when it comes on to fair use and all of this other stuff. So I try to talk a lot more. I try to even pause a lot more than I would usually do, right? To stay within that. It's still a business at the end of the day, so I have to make sure that the videos, stay up for as long as possible and stay within that fair use situation. So that's the only thing that's different. That's the only thing that's different when I'm not on a live stream or I'm talking to y'all. I don't talk this much in my real life, man. I'm very chill dude, right? So a lot of times, like, even during my live streams and stuff like that, when I don't talk a lot, that's my personality, right? That's me. But when I see these reactors come out, and I'm just like, yeah, they're probably not like me. They're probably very talkative in real life, where they like, nobody gets that excited over the simplest of things. And that's what I always said, that they feel a lot of reactors feel like they have to talk through the whole reaction, right? And not actually react. I promise you, a lot of times too, it's the YouTube cut. They feel like that's what's necessary and that's what's going to keep people attention. If you go to a lot of these guys and watch their full reaction on, like, if they provide it on Patreon, all of those excited moments is like once every like 15 minutes. But the way how they cut the stuff for YouTube make it seems like they're like that, and they're not like that, because they're cutting in a way to make everybody excited, like, and I just can't get excited over that. You gonna see the real me, like, people as looked at my reactions and the way how I was cutting them back then when I was editing for YouTube. Like, my YouTube reaction edits that I used to do, right? Because I figured out a way to do it and to have it be longer. So like a 1 hour episode, and you would still see, I don't know, 30-35 minutes of it, sometimes even more than that. And I was able to get it up there, monetized and everything, because of the way how I do it. And people would come to the channel, like, I got this one guy that made a video on me, right? Poor little old me, right? Poor little old me, he made a video on me saying I'm destroying YouTube because, what is this? Is this really a reaction? He's not even really saying anything. Because it's like, dude, to see me sitting there for like 10 minutes and just acknowledging what's happening on screen and not really stopping to say anything. And he's like, this is a bad reaction. Right? And I was like, damn, bro. A lot of people out here faking reactions, bro. And little old me, you coming at me like that. That ain't fair, man. But I didn't take it to heart. I was just like, I'm gonna still do what I do. So, if I could, let me see if the video. Let me see if I still have it here. Cause when people make videos on you, or your content is used, or people use your content, YouTube lets you know. Um, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Should be mentions. Let me see. It kind of be like people has made videos. Um, yeah, people has made videos. You know, like giving me props and stuff like that, and recommending my channel. So it's not all bad. You know what I mean? Is this guy? Let me see. No, that's a short thing. Let me see. Let me see if it's this one. No, this is somebody making. Oh damn! Did I remove it? Or does YouTube remove it? It seems like YouTube removes it after a while. It seems. Because I think this is a reaction compilation somebody put me in. I can't find it. Because it's from... That's a short video. I never saved the video because I was just like, okay. Yeah, it was on the mentions, but it's not there anymore. YouTube changes stuff a lot, man. You know, they change stuff in the background a lot. Let me see if I can, maybe I can find it on YouTube. Let me see, at... What's my handle again? Yeah, I can't remember. Let me see. Okay. Oh, maybe that has a dude. I swear that. Alright, I have. Nah. I mean, it finds my channel. Not so sure. Damn. Yeah, no. Can't find it. I don't see it anywhere. I don't know why they took it out my mentions. That's right, cause usually when they people make videos on you. Unless he deleted the video. That could be it too. It could be that he deleted the video. It could be. Because usually this stuff stays in your mention, like anybody that mentions you on YouTube, the video is there. But essentially this guy, he was just being, I don't know, I don't want to say he was jealous, but he was basically saying that reactors are destroying YouTube, and he used me as an example, and he even went over to the Patreon, and was like, "Look at this, he's making so much." I think he was Canadian too, if I remember correctly, because when he pulled up the Patreon, it was showing Canadian dollars, and he was like, "This guy is making so much money from doing reactions." By looking, and at that time I was already provided, like, at the time, um I wasn't making a lot of money on. I was making probably like $100, but with him not understanding that I had a lot of free members. Like right now, I have like I think like 700 free members. It's only like I think like 50 or something like that. Like I think I have like 50 something paid members currently right now, right? And I think this is the highest I've had since I've been doing Patreon. So he doesn't understand that, right? And I make it very visible. I think you guys are able to see how much money I make on Patreon, like per month. Like it's not a lot of money, right? At least maybe, well, let me not say it's not a lot of money, um, because you don't necessarily know people's situation, right? Because $100 to me might not be that much. I mean, in this economy, $100 is not a lot of money, but it's in America. But um, yeah, it might be a lot to some. So let me not say that, right? But at the end of the day, as I said, he didn't understand that looking at my total membership is not an indication of how much money I make. Because he's looking at it as like, oh, if all these 500 people is subscribed to him, um, at the $5 tier, he's making this amount of money. And I'm just like, I'm watching the video and I'm just like, you just don't understand. And I wish people who are making videos like that, like they would reach out to get a full scope of understanding of what's really going on. Because there's no way you can look at my channel with the low view counts that I get and say I'm making a ton of money. Because I don't. Right? I don't. Like, if you understand the system, you will know that I don't make a lot of money doing this. Right? I just don't. And I'm not going to pretend like I do. Right? I'm not going to pretend like I do because I know you know, I know it's not. I do what I do. Right? I do what I do and I understand that I do it and I'm don't get me wrong, I do want it to grow into something. You know what I'm saying? And the quicker it happens is the quicker I can provide more content, become a full-time content creator. So I do want this to grow into something 100%. Like I'm not going to hold y'all. Like I'm not one of those YouTubers who's going to hide, you know, how much they make on Patreon or whatever. Some of these people are making $10,000 a month easily, right? Based on what I know, because I know what the back end look like, right? So I can, you know, pocket watch, if you will, and see how much money a lot of these people make. You understand, based on their subscriber count, how many people is actually there. You know that a lot of these people are paying, and even on the low end of their lowest tier, you can tell, how much money. You can tell how much money people are making if you and them is in the same um niche on YouTube. You could tell based on your views, right? Because you understand the back end and the analytics behind it. Because you as a YouTuber has access to that as well. So you could tell, okay, if me and you is doing the same niche, that means we're doing the same. We're around or the same CPM, right? So you can calculate how much these people are making, per month, right? Oh, how much YouTube is giving them, because if you're in the same niche and if you have knowledge about other niches as well, it can work out. So you know that's why we can tell how much, like, Twitch streamers, Kick streamers, you can tell how much money they make, you know um if you understand the back end of things, right? So if somebody, that somebody is has a thousand subs, right? And you know how much a sub, like a first tier one sub is, you can average it out, right? You can estimate it, to know how much these people are making. So don't let them ever fool you into thinking, oh, I don't make that much money, you know, um, throw some more at me. Right? We all know, like, a prime example is like somebody like Kai Cenat, right? Last year, Prison Break. Oh, not a lot of people, man. And Prison Break is probably carrying. my channel right now. Like every month, like I think in general, those reactions, I think they do the most like views every month, even though I have new shows and over the years. If I should look, let me see here. Um, yeah, so I was saying that people like Kai Cenat, man, like he hasn't streamed in what now, 6 months maybe? I think it's been like 6 months since he streamed, and he still makes, I think it's like close to 1 million a month just on subs alone. Like people don't unsubscribe, but I'm just like, bro, he's not streaming. He's not providing the value. Just like they just out here just making these dudes rich, just just making them rich. Because at this point, it's just like, what are you paying for it? He's not streaming. What exactly are you paying every month for? Like that's the reason why well, one of the reasons I thought about this the other day, where it was like, damn, right? I don't care if people subscribe to the Patreon and then they cancel immediately. That's fine. I understand. I understand because I do that too. Because I know that in the past, right? I know that in the past, I have signed up for stuff and forget that it's there, and it goes on for 6 months, a year, 1.5 years, and I'm paying for this thing and it's not do using it for nothing. Like just recently I canceled my Amazon Prime because I'm like, I'm not buying anything, I'm not using the 2 day shipping, right? And I'm not watching anything on Prime Video, because the purpose of why I kept this was because at the time I was watching The Boys, I was watching Invincible, right? And I just, you know, I was just like, yeah, cancel that because I'm not using it for anything. Like, and it was going on for like 6 months after I caught up with The Boys and all this other stuff, and I was just like, babe, we're not using this for anything. What's going on? Like, we should cancel this. Okay, so let me see what's that's recent. Um, so we finally hit 3,800 subscribers. Let me see. All right, last 28 days. Let's see what's popping for the last. Um, okay, so The Sopranos reactions. Okay, that was 2 years ago. Alright, content. Let's see. Alright. Oh, I haven't checked this in a long while. It's actually C dramas have been killing it. Really? But let me see. It's engagement. Top videos over the last month. Of course, The Untamed is gonna be up there, but I want to see. Okay, so we have whoa. But that's impressions. I actually thought that was views. I was like, wait a second. I thought it was views. That is crazy sometimes when you look at your channel. I still have Prison Break. The first episode of Prison Break, right, is in the top 3. That's crazy. Imagine that. You guys need to hype the videos, man, when they come out. The season 4 finale? I love Prison Break, man. I loved it. Even though some people didn't really mess with the final season, I liked it a lot. I don't care what nobody said. I was just like, let me be the judge. Um, Let me be the judge, okay? Let me be the judge. That's what I say. Yeah, Prison Break is definitely one of my favorite shows. It's in my top 10, right? It's in my top 10 solidly. Solid. Solidly. It's in my top 10. So, it's a good show. It's a good show. The Untamed might be immortalized in the top 10 too after this because y'all are glazing this show so much. You have me focused. Y'all have me focused out here. I have no clue why my chat is not working, bro. I don't know why the chat is not working. Is it my chat is YouTube chat is supposed to be integrated so I can see it on the screen here, and I don't know why it's not there. Streamlabs is and where again? No, no, no. Let's see. Chat box. I don't know why. Yes, the platforms Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. So, did I change something or something? Let me check my chat here. I don't know why it's not working, bro. Let me. Did I not launch it? Is that what you're trying to say to me or not? No. Did I just never change it? Yeah, it's the same thing. Page is not available. What? Weird. Strange things. Yeah. Very good story. Very good story. 100%. Very good story, guys. Prison Break is one of my favorite shows of all time, man. Better what? I'm saving it and what? I'm supposed to be able to regardless. I'm supposed to be able to see the chats here. Alright, clear Twitch chat. Is it because I'm not on Twitch? There's no way. Talking about go to homepage. Why do I need to go to the homepage? Hold on. Overclock? No. Let me refresh this. Let's see. Never used to have this issue before. All of a sudden, because I haven't streamed in forever. It's the same one. Oh my god. Copy. Paste. Same thing. Kevin is lost in space. The hell that just said. That's very strange that, hold on. It's very, very strange. Yeah, the acting is like there's only a few people in there that wasn't like cheesy. I don't think what's his name? Michael's brother was a very good actor. Right. I think I think Michael's actor was pretty good, and Sarah was pretty good. I think that's probably all I can say really when it comes on. But I wasn't there for the who? The lawyer. And what's his name? The damn. Um what's his name was pretty good too. Um the guy that I hated. Well, his character that is. That was like pretty much everybody's favorite character. I can't remember his name. The lawyer from season 1, not ringing a bell. I can't remember. It's been so long, bro. It's been so long. It's been so long. Alright, let me refresh. Let me refresh my memories. Alright, let's see. I don't know who you're talking about. I know, yeah, Teabag is what I was trying to remember. Teabag, pretty good actor as well. I've seen him in other stuff since. He's a pretty good actor. I didn't even know he was in an episode of The Blacklist, and I love that show. I didn't remember him when I was watching Prison Break. Who are you talking about, bro? The lawyer? What's his name? Are you talking about William? I mean, Alex? Veronica? Oh, yeah. Now I remember who you're talking about. Yeah, she's a pretty good actress. She was in she was in what's the name of the show? The Mentalist. The Mentalist. She was pretty good in that too. This was a really good show back in the day. Um, if you guys never seen The Mentalist, pretty good show to watch. It's not a it's a crime show, but pretty intriguing. That's pretty much that was my bread and butter back in the day. That was my bread and butter back in the day, man. Just watching crime shows, so the Law and Order, shows that just didn't necessarily have continuity. They were just more episodic more than anything else. That's what carried them for seasons, right? So I don't know. If I recommend shows to y'all that I don't know if y'all would like them. Burn Notice, White Collar, um, Suits, the classics, all of those. Like, I need to rewatch The Wire. I do need to I don't know why this chat ain't working, bro. I need to rewatch The Wire because I don't understand the hype. I watched that show. I binged it. Maybe that's the reason. I watched that show before I started watching reactions, and when people was so hyped about it, when people would suggest it to me, I was like, I've watched it already. And I'm like, The Wire? You sure? Because I didn't get it. Okay. Drug dealers. Alright. They're gonna catch them. Alright. That was my thought process going through that show. So, as I said, I am planning to rewatch the show, doing reactions to it. So maybe I'll have a different perspective. Because, as I said, a lot of shows that I watched back in the day, I didn't have an opinion about it. I just watched them. If they were good, they were good. If they were bad, they were bad. There's in between so, average, typical shows. And that's cool. There's a lot of shows that I watch that I would never, that um, I wouldn't glaze. let's put it like that. But I would rewatch, but I wouldn't glaze it. I wouldn't say, hey, this is a 9 out of 10 show, a 10 out of 10 show. But I would definitely rewatch it. Like I wouldn't watch, like I wouldn't rewatch. I'll probably, to be honest, rewatch The Blacklist, because I never finished watching the show. I think there's like 2 seasons I didn't watch, and that because at the particular time when this was going on, I was going through some weird stuff in my life, in my personal life, and I just didn't get back to it. So it wasn't necessarily that I didn't, like I fell in love with the show or something. Like I still loved it, but I definitely need to probably go back and watch that. But um, what's basically, yeah, The Wire? Is it a Wire's episodic? It's not like a continued kind of story kind of thing. Like unless I'm just not remembering. I know specifically. What is The Wire? Like 8 seasons, I think. Right? I know it because I know my dude. What's his name? Michael White. I can't remember his name. Dude, I watched him in Boardwalk Empire too. I think he died too, right? I think he played a gay dude in The Wire. I think he was gay in The Wire. I know Michael B. Jordan was in The Wire. I know that Idris Elba was in The Wire. Like I know the show. Like I watched it. I just never thought it was this big thing. Some people praise it as like the best, one of the, well, not one of the best. Some people do say it's like the greatest TV show of all time, and I'm just like, did me and you watch the same show? It's just 6 seasons. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm going back to do a rewatch, because it's so far removed when I watched it. Like I don't remember half the stuff that happened in that show. Um. So because maybe it's because I binged through it and never really paid attention. I was like, oh, good crime movie. Kind of reminds me of The Shield, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Shield, but in my opinion, I'm speaking from my opinion right now. Maybe my mind will change when I rewatch The Wire, but in my opinion, The Shield is a way better story than The Wire, right? In my opinion, that's my personal opinion sitting here right now. I think The Shield is a way better show. If you have not seen The Shield, go check it out. I'm pretty sure if you like The Wire, you like The Shield, but I think The Shield blows The Wire out of the water for me, because just remembering the stuff that happened in The Shield. The Shield is like Breaking Bad before Breaking Bad. That's how good it was. You know what I mean? That's how good it was. It's like Breaking Bad before Breaking Bad. I don't think it's a better show than Breaking Bad. I just feel like it's up there. It's up there with it. House of Cards, seen it. Seen it. Yeah. Before I started doing reactions. Seen it. Kevin Spacey, the man, the myth, the legend. They tried to destroy that man's life with Me Too. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. People just they go through stuff and they never complain about it in the moment when they're making money, and then later on because they want to destroy you, maybe maybe they're jealous, maybe whatever the case may be, right? They come out later and they try to destroy your life, especially when it comes on to women. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. That's why I find it really hard to believe when women say shit happen to them these days. I find it very hard to believe because a lot of these women, they don't walk away from situations because they're quote unquote afraid to walk away. And now that you've made millions of dollars while under this supposedly, you know, objectification or sexual objectification, you know, now you want to come out and say, hey, this guy was a bad guy. Okay, bro. I'm good on that. Let somebody else believe you, you know, because unless you have explicit evidence that these things happen, I can't, man. It's tough. Look at what Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp. You know what I mean? Look at what she did. You know what I mean? Women be lying, bro. They be lying. I see a lot of these streamers and stuff like that, they be getting themselves in trouble too because they keep hanging out with these girls that they're not planning to marry, right? They keep hanging out with these girl streamers. It's only a matter of time, and Yana is up next. And you guys probably don't even know who the hell I'm talking about because y'all not in that. Y'all not keep up. But as I said, I keep eye on the competition. I don't really watch these people religiously, but they're all over my feed. Click on the videos to see what's up. To keep up with it because a lot of these guys are gonna keep getting themselves in trouble because they can't keep their dick in their pants and just stay away from these women. These women that are out in the public eye, man, it's not a good idea to date them. It's not a good idea to do anything with them. Don't even stream with them, bro, because you could be the next victim of a lie. They might get up one day and feel like that one time you were too close. You were too close to him. And they decide to say, oh, he sexually harassed me. And now what? You get canceled over some bullshit? Yeah, I'm not taking those type of risks, bro. Of House of Cards? House of Cards was a brilliant show until the final season. I did not like the final season because it didn't have um, Kevin Spacey in it. They took him out of the show because of the controversy. So I didn't like the final season. So yeah. But overall, I would say if I was supposed to judge the seasons with Kevin Spacey, it was a brilliant show. I couldn't stop watching it. Couldn't wait for the next seasons to come out. Um, so yeah, it is what it is. You know, people's lives change because of whatever, they have or what's going on. Yeah, good shows, NK. Yeah, man, Criminal Minds, Bones. I watched all those, man. I didn't. Are they still going on? NCIS. Are they still going on? Because I stopped watching those because it was like a never-ending story. So I was watching NCIS. What's the name of the other one? Was it NCIS LA? The spinoff. I like that one. The one with LL Cool J. That one's pretty cool too. But I stopped watching all of those crime shows, man, because I was like, Jesus, just end it already. As a matter of fact, when the original NCIS, I think I watched all of the original NCIS. I think I did because bruh, I'm not gonna lie. After a while, I was only watching NCIS because of that Israeli woman. That woman was so fine to me. That actress was so fine to me. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was enjoying those episodes, but when she's not in an episode, I don't want to watch. You know what I mean? Criminal Minds. Yep, loved Criminal Minds too. They did a. They did. They also did a. They had CSI. CSI was a good show too. They had CSI Miami. Yeah, I was. Yes, I've not. I'm gonna stop telling people that I watch House. I have not watched the entirety of House. I put it like that. I have not watched the entirety of House. I have watched a lot of episodes, but I have not watched the entirety. I have not watched House from like say season 1 to whenever it ends. I don't even know how many seasons it's got. Right? To That's why I don't want to say that because I know I have not watched every episode of House. House is one of those shows that when it was on and I had nothing else to watch, I would watch it. Right? So it was never like, oh, I'm waiting for season 1 episode 2 to come out and like on a weekly thing when the episodes would come out. Like it was never that show for me. Um and it's not that you Laurie is not like considered one of my favorite actors of all times because of what I've seen him do in House. They won a ton of awards too. So it's just maybe that's something we can do in the future. It is on the list of shows that I have to watch. Um it and The Office, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm 100% sure, young, that you know that I have not watched the entirety of House. I'm really sure of that. Um, yeah, because at one point I was watching it religiously, no lie, but um, fell off. I fell off, and I know it's a good show. I know it's a good show. Um, you know, I can tell you what I know about House. I can tell you what I know, right? You know, I know that he becomes he's like the doctor that you need but you don't want because he's also an addict pretty much. that man that man, what was his go-to pill again? Is it Xanax? Was it Xanax? Valium, yes. I think it was Valium. I think it was Valium, right? So it's like brilliant, right? And I know that he dated the director of the hospital, I believe. At one point, they got together. I can tell you details about the show, but I know I haven't watched the entirety of it because I know they broke up. I think they almost got married too, right? Um, or if they did get married, I can't even remember. Um, yeah. What else do I remember about it? I know that you always got the interns there. I know that Omar Epps was in the show at one time. Um, he was one of the not interns. They're not called interns. I don't know why I said that. They're not interns. They do their residency. Yeah, that's what they are. Not interns. They're residencies. So he's like, you know, overseeing them, teaching them how to diagnose and all this other stuff, how to recognize certain things, and all of that. So that's pretty much, there's certain events. I know that they do all kinds of crazy stuff in that show that you don't do in real life. Like the doctors go into people's home like they're investigators. Like, bro, no, doctors don't do that. Okay, so Don't believe that doctors actually do that, especially here in the United States. No, you leave that to the police are supposed to do investigations to find out what's happening. If something is happening with with patients and stuff like that, doctors don't just go to people's houses with gloves on like they're freaking CSI agents. you know, against Grey's Anatomy. I never watched Grey's Anatomy. That shit was too, in my opinion, it's too much drama in Grey's Anatomy. It was too much drama. It was not about. Well, there is a hospital show that came out recently. What's the name of that show that came out with the kid from that was in Bates Motel again? What's the name of that one? I was watching that for a while too, and then I stopped. Pretty sure that has ended now. Um, I can't remember that one, but there was another show as well. Um, that was based in New York that came and went to. Is Grey's Anatomy still on? It probably is. Yeah, it is a drama. Yeah, the Grey's Anatomy was not about the medical aspect. Like the drama wasn't even built around the medical aspect of the show. It was just, oh, this doctor is dating this nurse and they're having marriage problems and like it was just it's you get what I'm saying? It was not even about the medical stuff. It was just, like every now and then you'll get a case, you know, but it wasn't based around, being a doctor. You know what I mean? Mostly. Like that was a part of the draw, but for the most part it was not about that. So I wasn't drawn to it. Kind of reminds me of like General Hospital, back in the day, soap opera kind of thing. Yeah, Days of Our Lives. Grace is still going, bruh. I guess they have a fan base, bruh. Except it's common in Europe. People have house. I'm not talking about house doctors. They weren't doing house doctor stuff. I'm talking about work for a hospital, not for a like a private citizen, right? Or you have a doctor come visit you at home. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like they want to find out like if a crime happened. That's what I'm talking about. And you saw this. I'm pretty sure I saw it more than two times in the house, where these doctors, a patient comes in, something is wrong with them, right? And they suspect that there's nefarious things that happen. Maybe somebody tried to poison them or something like that. And they would go to the patient's house. Doctors can't do that. Like, that is a myth. Doctors don't do, they can't do that. It's not even a matter of they, they can and they don't. They cannot do that. It's against the law, right? So when you see them do that for a show based in America, it's just kind of wild because doctors they can't do that. It's against the law for them to do something like that. You're supposed to report that to the police, just like how if somebody comes in with a gunshot wound, you report it to the police. You don't. You get what I'm saying? Like you don't go to the house and investigate it yourself because they got shot at the house. What are you doing? That's weird. ER knew how to find a balance. I never saw ER. Um, yeah, I never saw ER. Love Sandra Oh, by the way. Love her. She and Sandra Oh and is I Jesus, I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. Jesus. This is other famous um Chinese female actress that I love to see her in everything that she does. Ever since I saw her in I think she was in Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon 2. But that's not the first thing that I watched her in. It was an older movie. I think she was in some martial arts movie with Jet Li, I think, and I can't remember her name. N- I guess I don't know if you want to say nah. She Chinese. She Chinese, man. She's not American Chinese. Is it Michelle Yeoh? I think it is Michelle Yeoh. Is her name? Her name is eluding me right now. She was in Crazy Rich Asians too. Yes, that's who we're talking about. Yes, Michelle Yeoh. Um, I think I'm trying to remember if it was Memories of a Geisha that I saw her in first. Let me look at her movies here. I know she was in Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. I think it was Tai Chi Master was the first movie I saw her in. I think that's the movie with Jet Li, I think. Um, yeah, I believe it was. That's the first movie. That movie came out in '93. Damn, that movie old. I'm pretty sure she's not even Chinese. She's Malaysian. No shot, bro. This whole time I thought this woman was Chinese. She's Malaysian. Well, you only live once, I guess. There's a lot of Malaysian Chinese. Um, yeah, I just find it remarkable I can remember so much by watching so many shows. Well, it takes practice. I'll say that much. Yeah, Sandra Oh and Michelle. I don't know if it's Michelle Yeoh. I guess it's the same thing. Um, two of my favorite female Asian. Let me say Asian because I swear that woman was Chinese. She's Malaysian. But yeah, like I don't really have any favorites from any C dramas that I've watched when it comes on to female actresses because there's so many and far. There's not any of them. I think the male actors show up more in different dramas that I've watched than the females. Um I think the females like is always new. Like some of them I've recognized, some of them like the lady that played Princess Liang in Nirvana and Fire. She was in part 2, but she played a different character in Nirvana in Fire part 2. And I believe I think she was in there was something else that I saw her in, but as I said, the ladies, yes, she was in the Disguiser. She was in the Disguiser too. But a lot of these, as I said, a lot of these, the actress don't show up in dramas as much as the men repeat, and show up in different dramas that I've watched. So it's hard. Like I have memorable performances. Of course, you guys know how I feel about the lady that played Princess Niwang in Nirvana and Fire. She's like the utmost for me. She's not the most pretty or the most beautiful woman I've seen as a actor in one of these C dramas, but she just stands out. Her performance was really good in Nirvana and Fire. I haven't watched her in anything else since. I think there was a couple of other shows that people suggested that's currently on the list that she's in, but we haven't gotten to it yet. There's a more modern drama that she did. Um, I can't remember the name of it, but it's somewhat of a similar thing to Joy of Life. Um, Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Asian works always. Listen, man, they are some beautiful ladies out there. I'll tell you that much. That's the reason why when people are trying to get me to watch gay stuff, I'm just like, bro, I, what are we doing in this world, man? What are we doing? Let the people who enjoyed watching that stuff watch it. You know, I'm not taking anything away from them. Go to the guys or the girls that enjoy watching that stuff, and they could watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. So I love me some man and woman romance. That's what I like. Man and women. I love to see that pairing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if many actresses won a Best Actor award unless they divide it by gender. Um, what do you mean? You gotta rephrase that question. Are you asking? Are you asking if actresses have won awards for like lead actresses? For best actresses? Yes, they do. If that's what you're asking. Yeah, they separated by gender for awards. I don't know if they've disbanded that. I'm pretty sure they haven't. I'm pretty sure that they still have. Let me see if the Oscar has, if they've changed it. Let me check to see if they changed it because they might have. To be honest, is the Oscars still doing genders separation for awards? Let me see. Is they yes, they're still doing it. It's still because I'm pretty sure they have. I haven't watched the Oscars or the Golden Globes in forever because I think it's just a woke fest. But because I used to watch that stuff every year. I used to watch that stuff because it was actually cool. The actors they could take a joke and all this other stuff. The award shows used to be fun to watch, man. But nowadays it's just them dude. They can't take a joke. They everything got to be political. They actually think people give a shit about what they think. you know. Meanwhile, they're getting an award and they're making tens of millions of dollars. You really think regular people care about what you think about politics? Come on now. Hi, bro. That's that's the crazy thing about The Last of Us. Like I watched the series and I was just like, okay, it was fine. It's one episode. I'm not gonna lose my mind over it, right? Because they explored it a lot more than they did in the game, and that's fine. They want to dedicate an episode to that. Cool. I know that's not what this series is about because we have the source material. I know, right? If they had turned around now, like if they did that, and then they made like Joel gay, then I would have been out. I would have been like, yeah, you're dumb. This is just stupid, right? But it was hinted in the game that those two characters were gay, so okay, fine. As I said, I'm not upfront to watching something if there happens to be a gay couple in the show, as long as the story is not centered around them and them falling in love and you know, I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? As long as that's not it, we can continue, right? Because if if the Patreon had said the Untamed is gay as hell, we wouldn't be here 12 episodes in. I promise you that. That would have gotten nixed immediately. Yeah, people are still in the comment section over on YouTube now whining about what I said in the beginning of the video. They're whining about it. So it's like, dude, how about you just enjoy the reactions right now, because you do realize that I'm further on in the series, so I've decided to watch it. Um, it's just a warning to, future people that comes in, and because as I said, I've had to turn down shows before, mind you, not asking the question to the community before I did that. But there's shows that has been suggested, and I researched it, not necessarily to know what happens in the show, but a lot of times when I'm like searching for backgrounds to create my background for this particular show, stuff will pop up on Google, and if it's not something that's this discussing heavily in the community, it's not going to be like right there on Google. Like I was looking for the logo for the Untamed, and on the first page of Google, I saw this Reddit thread. Right, I saw this Reddit thread. This saying if this is somebody was asking a question saying if this is boy love. So I what I'm saying, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna click on this link. I'm just gonna ask the question to the community because now I'm concerned, right? So yeah, that was basically the experience there. So nothing wrong with people suggesting shows. It's just that, yeah, I've had to turn down shows before. Same thing there. Looked it up. Turns out that's what it is, and I was like, for the life of me, I don't understand what makes you think a straight man like me, and I'm not afraid to say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a heterosexual. Just like how they can be big and bold about being homosexuals, I could be big and bold about saying I'm a heterosexual. Straight as an arrow, bro. Straight as an arrow. Ain't no bending in my will. Ain't no bending in what. You know what I'm saying? So, regardless of all of that, man, that's just what it is. The game was amazing. The Last of Us, amazing game. Didn't particularly like part two, but still a good game though. Still a good game. Didn't like a lot of the story beats around part two. And I'm not talking about the Abby situation. I'm talking about the ending. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the ending. It was cool, but I didn't particularly like the ending of part two. So yeah, um, yeah, it is. It is. It is boy love. I heard, right, and I know that it's heavily censored, right. Um, so if you're not looking for it, I doubt you'd find it without knowing. I guess. I guess so. I guess so. As I said, I typed it in the Google, and I saw that Reddit thread, and I was like, why is somebody asking this? There's got to be a reason why this person is asking this, right? So I became skeptical, right? Just from seeing um, that Reddit posing that question, I was like, there's got to be a reason why this person is asking this question. I didn't even know that the books was just straight up a gay story, right? I didn't know. So I was like, hey, if my community can confirm that this is not that, right? As I said, and I made it clear, I was like, listen, if it's just a bromance in the show, I could deal with that. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? I have friends in my life that I'm super close to that are dudes. You know what I'm saying? When we see each other, we hug. Sometimes we talk about life experience. Tears might flow. You know what I'm saying? So I understand a bromance. You know what I'm saying? You're talking to a guy, right? You're talking to a guy that watched, in my opinion, one of the best bromances in anime, which is my favorite anime of all time, which is Naruto. That is one of the biggest bromance that you could that you could ever watch in anime. I know there's probably way, you know going into the distance, right? Animes out there that really goes there, but um, in my opinion, breaking it down, that was a huge part of what Naruto was. It's the bromance of, you know, um, these guys weren't brothers by blood, but they were, brothers in spirit. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Naruto and Sasuke, man. So I don't have a problem with watching two guys that have, love for each other, but not romantic love. You get what I'm saying? So that's not an issue. And as far as I can see so far, 12 episodes into this series, I see the bromance. I don't see, you know what I'm saying? I mean, except for they look at each other way too long. Like, but, but instead, like, there's some longing looks into the distance that I'm just like, I'll look at no man that long, okay? But as I said, I could deal. It's not a big deal. I could deal with that. It's either to watch it either way. I never seen it myself since I don't like. Oh, you don't like? Okay, really? You don't like fantasy dramas? How could you not like wuxia of all genres, bruh? I can understand maybe you don't like the CNC stuff, right? I can understand that, but wuxia is like it's it's like the most basic of the genres to like get into and like. I mean, I guess you probably don't like fighting stuff. I guess. Imagine a government says that would be crazy. They all do it. You are so right, NK. They all do it. I'm just like as I said, some of these guys they be looking at these guys for way too long. I'm just like, damn, that you know what I mean? Just it's just a little bit. It's a bit too much. But as I said, I can deal. It's not. That's just me making fun of the show. But you're gonna have the people that come in that take that personally because you can't say nothing bad about you know if people are queer or they're bi or they're gay lesbian. You can't say nothing bad about it. They'll just get mad, right? Like somebody said something, but this was for a different show. Who gives you the right to talk about women's bodies? um I didn't know that. I didn't know there was tape over my mouth. What are you talking about? It's not illegal. What makes you think I can't? What makes you think I can't talk about women's bodies and how they look in a show? Right? Because this was just a conversation I was having in the show where it was like and maybe you guys can put in your 2 cents here. Let me pose the question to you, right? What? All right. Do you believe that virginity is a social construct? Let me ask you that question first. Do you believe that virginity is a social construct? Oh, I agree with that, Edison, for real. Bromance only nostalgia breaks our tears, yeah. Yeah, people do want you to have their own morals in your life. Um, yeah, is it the trap? No, it's not a trap. I'm asking you a serious question. Do you think that virginity is a social construct? Do you believe that we just made up that term? Do you think it's something that we made up just because of how we interact with each other, or this is something that we're born with, right? And we just use a word to describe what that is. Do you think virginity is a real thing? That is not what I'm asking. No, you're not wrong for not liking it. I just you're the odd man out for sure. Because I think you're the first person I've met that said they don't like wuxia dramas. I've been watching wuxia even before I knew it was that. So you know what I'm saying? Because Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is wuxia, but it's not described as that. It's an action film here in America. It was never described as wuxia, but it is. That's what it is. Word mincing is your job. Well, I would say this because the reason why I asked that question is people tend to want to change the meaning of words. Some things that happen naturally, we want to change that to suit our being, our existence a lot of times, right? So I do believe that it's something, as I described in the latter statement there, is I don't think that virginity is a social construct. I think it is something that is. I think it's something that is, and we use a word to describe what that is. Okay? So we are born virgins, right? We are all born virgins until we have sexual intercourse. That's just what it is. That's what virginity is, right? Now, the conversation was, do lesbians actually lose their virginity, right? If they don't get penetrated by a penis, right? Can you lose your virginity if you don't get penetrated by a penis? This is on the woman's side, right? As a lesbian, you've never slept with a man, you've never been penetrated with a dildo. This person actually said that fingers count. Okay? They said fingers count. So that's simple. That would simple means, like, if we're supposed to take that logic, right? Because we can have a grown up conversation, right? We're grown ups here. We're not children, right? If I'm supposed to take that logic that fingers can make you lose your virginity, right? Then that simple means that, well, I mean, in retrospect of it all, I mean, most of these women are not virgins on their wedding nights, anyways. But just to put things into perspective, most girls get fingered way before they actually have sexual intercourse with a man, right? We can agree on that, right? So that simple means that even the girls and the women that were getting married in the day and they was like, oh my God, this is my first time, wedding night, virgin. Most of those women, they got fingered by somebody. I'm just being honest, bro. I'm just looking at it from a perspective of, if I was supposed to take your logic and believe that fingers make a woman lose their virginity, then that simply means that I would say probably like 90% of women that was considered virgin going into their marriage or whatever, right? Before they say, "Oh, this is my first time." Yeah, this is your first time having dick. But I'm just saying, if that's what the logic is, I don't believe in that logic because I don't think, right? Some You do have some women that believe that once their hymen broke, they've lost their virginity, which I think is dumb because you can accidentally, um, your hymen can break accidentally. You know, I guess it depends on definition of virgin. As I said, it's just like my thing is this, right? People, there are people that believe that virginity is a social construct. Like we made it up, right? Because like you're making it sound like it doesn't have a definition. It have a very specific um, definition, right? You're you you know we know what it is. right? He said back in the day they would check if the hymen was intact. If it wasn't, not a virgin. That's what I'm saying. Like, but as I said, that part of it has changed because girls, they can their hymen can break accidentally. It doesn't necessarily mean that you know if it's not intact, like you could still, in my opinion, because it can break accidentally, um, and not through. People think that it can only break through penetration, which is not the case anymore. Because of medical advancement, it can break. Just it can actually break um, through your period, right? Through their period, not your, but through the period, um, through the menstrual cycle. So it's like it's just we can't define it that way anymore. Is what I'm saying, right? We just can't, right? We can't define it that way anymore. So we have to now say, you know, sexual intercourse, right? Yeah, hymen can break riding a horse. Yeah, yeah. So it's like a weird thing that they had back in those days. But things have changed. You say you believe in God, so I think it's important. Yeah, it's my belief too, Edison, no doubt. Um, it's as I said, it's partially the reason, probably the main reason why I'm not going to watch. You know, why I'm not going to watch that stuff. As I said, if I'm watching a show and there happens to be a gay couple in there, man, cool. As long as the story is not surrounding them, I understand that gay people exist. Y'all need to stop pushing this agenda, right? Um, they really do need to stop pushing this agenda because it's like, dude, why can't you just exist like everybody else and be miserable like the rest of us? All of a sudden, you want special treatment. All of a sudden, you gotta be everywhere in front of everything. Like that's in my opinion, that's not fair treatment because it's just like, oh, you're a minority, so we gotta highlight your, you know what I'm saying, you're a minority, and I don't believe in that. I believe that we all should exist in the same space and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I might disagree with your lifestyle, and I'm not afraid to say that, right? There's there's guys. There's one like really based gay dude that I talk to on Discord from time to time, right? Because he needed help. He needed help with something, right? He needed help with something, and I invite anybody to come talk to me, and he made sure to let me know that I'm not afraid to talk to these people, right? And he knows what my stance is. He knows that I don't agree with the lifestyle and all this other stuff, but we still can have conversations. There's nothing wrong with that. He understands that. As I said, you could be gay as you want to, around me, right? Just don't touch my butt. That's all I'm saying. If I was to be even more straight up about it, just don't touch my butt. You know what I'm saying? As long as you understand what the boundaries are, because gay dudes are really touchy. They love to touch. You know, they're very touchy, just like how women are. They love touch. They love to show their affection through touching you, right? So they have that feminine nature about them, right? Where they will do that. So I make it very clear. Yeah, you might get punched in the face. All I'm saying. And I'm not afraid to say that publicly because a lot of times, a lot of you like you think that, but I don't know if anybody or any reactor out there is watching gay C dramas if they're dudes, right? If they're men, right? I don't know if that's happening. Maybe there is because maybe they feel pressure to watch this stuff because they're afraid of the mob, the woke mob, right? So they're afraid to say these things because, that YouTube is my living or whatever. Even if they have differential views, they'll probably still watch it, right? And go through the pain of it just because a bunch of people, but they don't understand, once you start doing that, man, it's never going to end. It's never going to end. There's never going to be a time where you can really say, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore. I don't like watching gay stuff. Like, once you start, it's over, bro. So just don't start. Just don't start. Don't give in to it. Don't give in to the masses. As I said, it didn't even take that long for somebody else to come suggest some other boy love um, C drama to me. It didn't even take that long. There's 2 episodes, 3 episodes now as of today on YouTube of The Untamed, and they're already suggesting more boy love stuff because they probably believe that The Untamed, heavily censored that it is, right? They still think it's boy love. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. React to it because there's money. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna react to it because they're afraid to say anything. They don't want to be outed. They don't want the comments to come. Plus, there's a lot of money. Do you think I don't know that there's money in it, man? I know there's money in it, but I promised myself one thing in life, and I say this the other day. I said this to somebody, and they said they never heard anybody say this before. But I think I've said it on a few reactions before. I said that I will never compromise my morality for consistent vanity. I'll never do that. Because at the end of the day, what do you have? Right? YouTube can shut my channel down tomorrow. Right? They could do that. Right? Mind you, they have to have cause, but I'm saying it could happen and they give me a bullshit reason. Right? So I would advise you guys to do the same. If you like to watch gay stuff, man, that's cool. Do you. Right? If that's what it is. But if if you're supposed to maintain integrity, don't watch it just for the money. But as I said, that's the YouTube game. A lot of these guys, they're gonna, do the stuff that the YouTube algorithm wants. We were talking about that earlier, right? With the algorithm is the reason why I stopped caring about the algorithm because I'm just like, I'm chasing something that I'll never get, in my opinion. I'm just like, if I put out a new C drama, or I'm putting out content. Right now we have, I think, 6 shows. Is it 6? Let me see. The Untamed, Vendetta of Hand, Legend of Shanghai is still going on. Guardians of the is still going on. That's, I think we have about 7 or 8 shows going on the channel currently. The 100. Like, I wasn't putting out this much content, but because I'm not editing shit anymore, I can put out more content on the channel. I'm planning to add more shows. I'm trying to get to the point where at least 3 episodes of something is coming out every day on the channel. Every day. I'm waiting on the Succession to be over. We got like, I think 6 episodes of that left. Once that's done, I'm gonna drop a short series on the channel to get that out because it's been sitting on Patreon forever exclusively. Get that out. Then eventually I'm gonna get back to the anime stuff. Right? So, and I'm planning to start uploading a lot of stuff. A lot of the old stuff that I have, old reactions that I have, to put over there. Right? So, because now that I can upload stuff to Patreon, I'm just gonna upload stuff. I'm gonna do some of the anime stuff. I'm just uploading those just so people, can access them. And they don't have to, go over to the Google Drive. There's just a lot. There's people that watch anime there. I know it's not much right now, but also, maybe later on, maybe in the fall, I'm gonna start re-uploading a lot of the anime stuff that I have, from the streams and stuff like that on the channel in the same format, right? And I know it's not the best. It's not the best formula to get views. I know. But I've made my peace with that. right? I've made my peace with that. The Untamed is like at 1,200 views right now. I can't tell the last time I saw a video do 1,200 views, so I'm grateful for that. But a lot of those people, they come to the video, right, and they go to the link in the description to go watch the full reaction. They're coming over to Patreon, sign up for free, and that's real the goal. Because if I apparently I can't build a community on YouTube, so I got to try to build it somewhere else. Now Patreon is giving us more options to invite people over to Patreon. I don't care if you guys, I don't care if you guys sign up and pay. If you're paying, that means you're supporting, right? In that aspect, monetarily, right? And I'm grateful for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for that. I do want to see, the tiers grow. Do want to see those grow. I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit y'all and tell you, oh, I don't want to make no money. Yeah, I want to make money, right? And be straight up about it. Yeah, that's a part of it. I want to make money, but guys, yes, YouTube slow. Patreon is moving right now. I'm grateful for it, but I'm not going to crash out if people don't sign up and buy a tier. Like, I'm not going to crash out over it, because the most important thing is for you guys to have a great experience. Because, I'm coming from the watching aspect of reactions too. I used to watch reactions religiously before I started my own channel. So I know that, when I decided to provide full reactions, I understood what I was doing. I wanted to do that because that was one of the things that bothered me the most when I was watching other people's reactions with all these jump cuts and this one the show is on the screen for like 2 seconds, then they take it off and then they put it on for another 2 seconds. The thing was jarring to me. So I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make it an experience that I know that people will like, rather than having these jump cuts, edited versions on YouTube, and then you don't even get to see a full reaction if they're getting you to Patreon. If you're getting over to Patreon, not even getting a full version, you get a time version where you have to line up your copy of the show to their reaction to actually watch it. And I said, I'm not gonna do that either. I'm just gonna be like, listen, I know I'm towing the line here when it comes on to fair use, but I'm gonna try to make this as the best experience as possible for my subscribers, because I think they deserve that. Plus, as I said, I've told you guys that the reason why I pause and talk so much during this is because I'm trying to stay within fair use and trying to make the content transformative. But I've always said this as well. If later down the line I have to remove these videos, right, whether it's from Patreon now or whether it's on YouTube down the line, they come at copyright and all this other stuff, I am not going to argue with them. It's not my content at the end of the day. I don't want to be taken to court for these things because I'm out here trying to fight for something that doesn't belong to me in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Just, to me, I said, take the videos down, find a different avenue. It's really that simple. That's why sometimes I don't really feel sorry for a lot of these reactors, because YouTube is their job. It's how they make money. So of course, when they get hit with 6,000 copyright strikes on their channel, and YouTube takes away their channel, then they're on X or Twitter, whatever, crying, hoping that their subscribers will cry out, adding YouTube, and that YouTube will respond and give them their channel back, and then go back and do the same shit over again. And then in a couple of years, they get caught again. Right? And they don't understand that at the end of the day, it's all in the company's power that owns these shows to come after you. Right? They come after you. So I'm not gonna fight over reactions, bro. I have them secured. Now I do. Before I lost a few. And I learned my lesson from that to keep my recordings local and not just online. Right? I lost a few. But it is what it is. We move forward, right? We move forward. You can't just, I've learned that in business to, when something don't work out, you pivot. You pivot to something else. There's other ways, right? They can't come after my Google Drive because that's a private storage that I give people access to. They can't come after it. They can't just on YouTube, they can arbitrarily just delete my videos. They can't do that on the Google Drive. They can't just YouTube can't go to my Google Drive and delete my videos, right? Because it's a private storage that I give you guys the link to, right? So, as I've told you guys in the video that I made about Patreon and me uploading videos directly, as you can see with the new C dramas and stuff like that, right? I don't know how long this is going to last. It might be 3 years, might be 5 years, might be 10, might be 20. Who knows? But I think eventually they're gonna get caught up. But we're using it for now. I still am uploading my files to the Google Drive and I have them locally. So if something happens where the one good thing about Patreon, and if there's copyright problems down the line, is that the people, the company, can't strike your videos. They can't strike your videos. They can't take down your videos. They have to go through Patreon first. And what Patreon does is they inform us that owns the Patreon. They inform us, right? And so once they inform us of the situation, we can take the videos down ourselves, right? They don't just take your videos down like YouTube do and then strike your channel. They don't do that over on Patreon. So that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. These companies on YouTube, they'll just give your channel a strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, right? And then they delete the video. And then YouTube just deletes your video. So if you don't have that saved, there's a video down the line, because it's just like they're not going to tell you what's wrong in the video. They might tell you, hey, this is copyrighted content, blah blah blah, but they don't tell you maybe it's something that you could take out of the video and re-upload it. But they don't do that. They strike the video first. The companies do that, not YouTube. But YouTube, as a result of that, they delete your video, right? So that's how it works. Yeah, even X now is doing premium. That's true. Trying to get into the social media game, but it's so, bro, that stuff is so pretentious to me, man. Like, it's just so pretentious to me, and that's the reason why I haven't really utilized it, because it's just like, man, this is, you gotta think about managing egos and people coming to you, and it's just like, oh, just it's just too much work. But it is the game. It's a part of the game. If you want to be recognized, you gotta play it. You know, you gotta play in that pool with everybody else if you really want to get there. And some people, they'll sell their souls for that stuff, man. They'll sell their souls. A lot of stuff that I see online these days, it's just rage bait, man. It's just rage bait. These guys are just looking for traffic and views, bro. Like, because like, people will just say the dumbest things, and I'm just like, you don't really believe that. You don't really believe that, bro. I refuse to believe that you believe that. Refuse. I do have a Discord server. It's linked in every video on YouTube that you're watching on right now. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description of the stream you're watching now of my Discord. I think. I could be wrong, but I might be right. Oh, there's nothing in the description. I can shoot you the Discord link. Not a problem. Not a problem, man. Let me see. Yeah, so it's it's just interesting, man, to see how things. So even the reason why I did this live stream tonight, I just wanted to discuss with y'all. Um, but I am going to come back with some streams, and um, it's probably just gonna be on Mondays for now, Monday afternoons. I don't know if you guys can make it, but we play some games, whatever, you know, chat it up. You can drop it. You can drop it. Just drop it. Thank you. Yeah, so it's it's just like that, you know. It's just like that, man. So yeah, man, it was great hanging out with y'all. Those of you that came through Edison, I think somebody else was in the YouTube chat. I can Messiah. Okay. And Edison. Um, it's actually my brother's name. It's easy to pick out of a crowd. Easy to pick out of a crowd. That's my older brother's name, Edison. Um, but this is crazy to me, you know, because as I said, I want to do gaming. I also want to come back and finish up a lot of the animes that I left stranded when I stopped streaming last year. Um, but I also don't know if I want to do those on stream. So that's kind of like the dilemma that I'm having currently, where I don't know if I want to do this on if I want to watch the rest of the anime, because I watched up to a certain point in some of these animes. I just need to. A lot of us are kind of left in limbo, unfinished seasons. I'm wondering if I just should just pre-record those and do the rest, and then just come back to stream fresh with fresh animes and everything, because I don't know, um the people who was with me when I stopped. I don't know if they're gonna come back around to see me finish. I mean, I will be letting them know, but I don't know if they'll come back. They probably forgot about me. Um, I was really distraught about the whole streaming thing, man, because yeah, but it is what it is. We're doing too much. Um, I'm fresh now. When I'm experiencing any type of burnout, I usually take a break. So I'm not like the other streamers who trying to do 24 hours and trying to stream every day for a month and all this dumb shit, right? Like, I'm not one of those dudes. Like, if I need to take a break, I'll take a break, right? From everything, really. So that's why sometimes you guys will hear me, like you'll see an announcement, hey, no reactions this week. I mean, you don't see that often, but sometimes I do, take a break, or my significant other realize that I need a break, and she'll just plan something. So it is what it is, man. We out here, we doing our thing. I like everything. I like the interactions that you guys come out, you know, not just on the stream, but in general. What you guys do, I really do appreciate it, for you guys who came through in the chat and stuff like that. So I appreciate it, man. I really do. And I see that a lot of people have come over to a lot of people have come over to the Patreon as free members, and they're enjoying the reactions. I know that you guys like the format. You don't have to go to the Google Drive. You can just watch the shows here on Patreon. Good quality, everything. Um, Gotten some feedback on that, so I'm happy to know that you guys are enjoying that. Um, yeah, and I've been, slowly but surely, for all the new shows, I'm uploading the videos to Patreon and updating those, um, to get that. Yeah. So I'm happy that you guys like it better that way, because you're already on Patreon, you know. Um, and I think the people who are coming over from YouTube are like that experience better. As I said, part of the reason why I did it was because I got a few comments that said that they'll go to the Google Drive to watch it and they can't, whether it's because the file is still processing, or the they'll get a message that says playback limits, right? So playback limits on Google Drive is a thing, but what I would usually tell people to do, just download the episode. um, but some people just can't be bothered to do all of that. It's too much for them. So I'm glad that I found a remedy here, because I was very skeptical of using the, if you want to call it, the Patreon drive. I was really skeptical about using it because I was like, what about copyright, right? I was worried about copyright. I was just like, if I upload this video, it's gonna get blocked. If it is it like YouTube? I tested it a few times and I was like, oh, videos are going through quite fine. Nothing is wrong here. But as I said, it might not last forever, but we're gonna use it while we can, right? If anything later on, I still have them on Google Drive. We can go back to that temporarily till we find a better solution, right? So as I said, I'm a man that pivots. Okay, I don't give up, because trust me, if I've had plenty of reasons to give up doing YouTube, plenty. Okay, but I'm sticking with it because I love doing it. And when you guys leave likes, comments, it makes me want to even do it more. Um, because I enjoy hearing you guys' opinions, whether they be different from mine or the same. So I appreciate you guys for coming through. Well, we have enjoyed ourselves tonight. It was great talking to you guys that came through. Um, this stream is going to be available for anybody who wants to come and watch it after. I'll leave it up for them. Um, so, once it's processing through, they can, if they missed it. But I don't know if this is a good time to stream. Um, that's another thing too, because I could stream earlier. I could stream, earlier on in the day, in the afternoon. But I kind of I've always wanted me streaming to be like a relaxation in a way for people who are like coming off work. But I also got to realize that a lot of my subscribers are in different time zones, man. A lot of them. Like, you may think that I have a lot of subscribers here in the US. I don't. Like, my demographics is wild. Okay, wild. The people, like, internationally, outside of the US, that subscribe to the channel and actively participate too. It's crazy. Um, yeah, see what I'm saying? It's 5 o'clock where you at right now. You see what I'm saying? So I know the demographics is wild, it's all over the place. It's kind of like it's hard for me to find a quote unquote best time to stream, because it's like, I'm over here in the US and it's only like 10 minutes to 10 o'clock right now. So it's at night. So we'll figure something out, won't we? I know you guys like would you'll still like probably like watch the vlogs if I do any shows live or something like that. I'm gonna be gaming and stuff like that and cutting those VODs and putting them over on YouTube. Maybe not. It's not gonna be on the same YouTube channel. I'm gonna build up a different channel for gaming. But a lot of times when I come in, I'm chill. Try out some games that I've always wanted to try. My gaming catalog is ridiculous. Okay, I need to play some of these games that I bought. Okay, my backlog is too much. Too many games in my backlog right now that I want to play. Just never had time to play them. So we got to get into some of those, man, and just um, yeah, do a thing, right? So NK got Young in the chat. I think those are only 2 people on Patreon. And we got Edison coming through. Appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. It's always nice. I don't care if it's one or two people, right? As long as because I usually, if nobody shows up after like 10 minutes, I usually just shut down the stream because I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of those people streaming to 0 viewers. I don't do stuff like that. Okay, especially when it's on Patreon and YouTube. Like I should get at least one, right? I should get at least one, right? At least one, right? It was fun. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Thank you guys so much for showing up for your boy. I love it. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time, whenever that may be. And you guys, I'll try to give you guys like advance, invitation to the streams and not just pop up like this because, so you guys can know, oh, he's going to be streaming at this time or whatever. So, if you want to come on, just say hi and dip. That's cool too, right? So I'll make sure that you guys, I get a schedule going on for that, for sure. So yeah, man. See you guys later. I'm out. I am out. Laters.